We've been waiting for this for a long time to be able to be the first on Susan Wishart's book tour list, and that's what we are. She finally has her wonderful new book, Soul Visioning, out, and so please give a warm welcome for Susan today, and we'll find out all about it.
And thank you, Diane, for creating this wonderful energy and this space to talk about these far out subjects. You know, where we can feel very safe and be ourselves. Also, thank you to Dr. Fenwick for that amazing information. Very, very useful. What a contribution. Dr. Fenwick is talking about the death process, and I'm talking about the living process. It's how to live your life with passion and purpose, a soul-guided life, so that when you reach the end of the life and you do that life review, you can have a deep sense of joy and satisfaction for the life that you lived and go through the dying process very conscious and peaceful. Before we begin, I'm going to do an energy balancing so that we can center our energy and balance. Yes. Oh, hi. I thought you were trying to get my attention. Okay, this is from Donna Eden's Energy Medicine book. She has a 5-minute energy balancing routine that she uses in the morning, that she recommends in the morning. It is recommended in my book. I'm just going to give you a few of these exercises that you can use whenever you're stressed or start your morning so that you center and balance your energy system. So I need everyone to stand up. Action going, so I'll show you how to do it. It's very simple. Okay, just marching. Okay, and then cross and touch your knees, cross your body and touch the opposite knee. Okay, good job. Okay, next, hold your hands out in front of you, thumbs up, and we're going to do a figure 8, and you're going to look at your thumbs and follow your thumbs as we do the figure 8. Okay, good job. Good, you're a coordinated group. I like that. Okay, then put your hands in the prayer position. Okay, and circle around back to the prayer position. Okay, then one hand up, one hand down. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, come back to the prayer position. And then do the other side. One hand up, one hand down, breathe in. Back to the prayer position and one more. And breathing in, as above, so below. Back to the center. And the other side. And breathing in. Back to the center. Namaste. Okay, we are in a celestial speedo. Have you noticed that? And our soul is giving us a wake-up call. This is not a time to be in fear. It's a time to align our soul as our guide through these troubled waters. And our individual and collective unconscious shadow is up for review. This gives us an opportunity to look at the unconscious material that is coming to the surface and forgive it and release it and heal it. This is a very important time in our transition because the collective unconscious it's like the soul is upping the ante, and you need to pay attention. You need to stay focused on your purpose for being here. Those outer conditions can be a catalyst to help us turn within and answer the crucial questions. What is really important in our lives? Certainly near-death experiences can wake us up to these important questions, but so can a Wall Street crash. It can be a wake-up call to refocus our attention inward. We have to remember our true identity as spiritual beings, to experience that place of peace that is within us despite the insanity of what is going on around us. One of the reasons that I wrote the Soul Visioning book is to teach people methods of clearing the unconscious limiting beliefs that keep us from connecting with the joy and the peace of our soul's vision for our life, in our work, our relationships, our health, our finances, and our spirituality. There are many books written on manifestation, such as The Secret. How many people have read The Secret? Okay, ask the genie in the bottle, ask and you will receive. Okay, what I have discovered is that there are many things that are missing from these manifestation models. In my practice, many people have said, I've done all the positive thinking, I've done the affirmations, and I've hit the wall, and I'm stuck. So many of my clients would say, I try to meditate, I try to think positive thoughts, I say my affirmations, but it's too difficult. I try to listen to my inner wisdom, and I just can't hear it. I keep running into a wall. Any of you relate? Yeah. Okay, so why is this? Well, one reason is that many of the manifestation models do not address the unconscious mind. And second, they don't put the soul in charge of the process. So about 95% of our mind is unconscious, with a repository of cellular memories, a trunk of junk, so to speak, from past incarnations and from this life. So we have these ego-limiting beliefs that hold us back and say, no matter what I do, it's not good enough. Happiness never lasts. Life is a struggle. You're guilty, you're sinful. Can you add a few to those? Anybody got their favorite? Let me hear a couple. Limiting beliefs. Oh, this is an enlightened group. I'm sure you'll think of a few. Okay, it's like a virus in your computer program, slowing you down, and you don't know where it's coming from. So we try to avoid these uncomfortable feelings by numbing out, anesthetizing ourselves with a variety of distractions, such as addictions, drugs, alcohol, sex, busyness, food, shopping, work, and the list goes on and on. So we have to resolve these unconscious programs and reconnect with our soul's guidance to create the life that is the expression of our soul's desire. Fortunately, there are many tools that will help us reprocess that unconscious trunk of junk. And some of those are, for example, energy psychology. How many people have heard of energy psychology? It's acupuncture for the emotions, but without the needles, tapping the different meridian points. This is a very, very powerful process. We have things like past life regression therapy, which goes to the root and the origin of where many of these repeating karmic patterns originated. And I want to give you a couple of cases of people who have gone through this process with me, and where I help them to get unstuck and move forward. One of the women that I work with is a surgeon, very successful very successful. She wanted to express her soul vision for her life by opening up an integrative medicine center using energy healing methods. But she felt very stuck and held back. And it was more than just the American Medical Association, which I think is a legitimate concern. She said it's deeper. So I took her through the soul vision process. I guided her into her ideal future. She envisioned it from her higher soul wisdom. And when I asked her if there was anything holding her back, she remembered the messages that she received from her mother in her childhood. And the message was, it's not okay to think about your own needs. You can only think about other people. So she learned to please other people and not rock the boat. But the good news is we were able to go back and reprocess some of those childhood limiting beliefs. Then I said, is there anything else that is holding you back? Anything else that you're resisting? And she flashed back to a past life in which she was a gifted healer. She was a very, very powerful woman. The authorities at the time were very threatened by her power, and they imprisoned her and put her to death. Actually, there were a number of lifetimes like that, where she was either highly intuitive, she was a gifted healer, but it was a threat to the authorities. So that was the subconscious block, and it was a fear that was holding her back from stepping into her soul's purpose in this current incarnation. So we did go back into those past lifetimes and re-scripted it, and it released it and it unburdened it. And the good news is that she has moved forward. She has opened her integrative medicine center, and she's doing wonderful, wonderful work. Another inspiring case that I had was a homeless woman. This woman was about to be released from a homeless shelter, like in a couple of weeks. A doctor had referred her because she knew about the work that I did. This woman was in her mid-60s. She had no job. She had no family. She was in poor health. She had definitely hit bottom. She had a very deep victim spirit. She was angry at her brothers for cheating her out of her full inheritance, but she was highly, highly motivated to change. She said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to turn my life around. So I had her envision her ideal future, her ideal life, in her work, her health, her finances, her relationships, and her spirituality. And it was very obvious that there was a lot of unfinished business in her past. Her mother had died in front of her from a stroke when she was 13 years old. Can you imagine how difficult that would be? So the guilt and the drama and the unfinished business from that experience was still with her even in her mid-60s. She had a workaholic father and an emotionally abusive brothers. She was abused by a priest in her adolescent years, and her self-esteem was almost non-existent. This was a woman whose soul's vision was clouded by many years of hurt and unresolved business. But she started work in earnest. She acknowledged the grief. She acknowledged the loss of her mother. She acknowledged the anger of her abusive siblings, and she reclaimed and nurtured her inner child parts. She worked very diligently in healing the wounds of her religious upbringing, and she discovered a spirituality that was loving and forgiving and non-judgmental. And her life began to turn around. She no longer saw herself as a victim, and she connected with her soul to guide her life. She has taken responsibility for herself and her own happiness. She eventually was able to forgive her brothers, and she has since reconciled with them, expecting nothing from them except to give them love. She has found a wonderful job that she absolutely loves. She's standing on her own 2 feet at the age of 70, and she's living a life of passion and purpose. She is a wonderful example that it is never too late to change your mind and change your life. So if a homeless woman can change her script, think of what we can do. So let's do that. Let's start the process for you. This discussion about soul visioning is an introduction to the topic. This is usually a whole day workshop, but at least we can take a step. I am offering a full day workshop next Saturday at Infinity Foundation, where we will be going through all 7 steps of the soul visioning process. You can get more information. We did hand out a handout. Did everybody get that? Okay, or you can go to my website, www.susanwisehart.com. Okay, I want to invite you to ask yourself this question. If you could wake up and have your life be just the way you want it from a soul's perspective, what would it look like? What would you be feeling, and what would you be doing in your work, your relationships, your health, your finances, and your spirituality? If you could wake up tomorrow and have your life be just the way you wanted it, as a soul-guided life. A lot of people indicate that they don't really know what their ideal career or work would be. So what I recommend is just start with the qualities of what you would be experiencing in your ideal work. For example, you could say, well, I wake up in the morning, I feel excited and passionate and inspired by doing what I love. I work in a harmonious environment with like-minded people who support each other, helping others, where we are appreciated for our service. You can start with more the global feelings and the qualities if you don't know the specifics, because sometimes this is a step-by-step process. In your relationships, you could write down the qualities of your ideal partnerships and feeling that deep sense of love, connection, respect, emotional intimacy, and rapport. What would you be doing and feeling together? In the health arena, you could focus on characteristics that you want to experience in terms of having a body that is vital and energetic and balanced, that supports you in your soul's purpose while you are on this earth plane. In your finances, you could focus on the qualities that represent the abundance of connecting with your inner well-being, the abundance of your soul that manifests in the outer world. Your sense of inner security comes from that sense of abundance that is within you, that connection to the divine. In the areas of spirituality, you could focus on the qualities that you want to express in your life, such as compassion, peace, and kindness. So I want you to take a minute and write down some of your answers to that question. What would I like my life to look like if I woke up tomorrow and had it be just the way I wanted it? If you want to write on the back of one of the handouts that I gave you, I think one of them has a blank page. And if you want to just focus on one or two areas, you can do that. So I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Okay, and does everybody have their papers? Okay, so take a deep breath. Let's get centered and connected with the divine that is within us, because it's very important to connect with your soul's guidance. And then after this, I'm going to take you into a soul-guided journey into your ideal future, where you will envision this in holographic time, where all potentials exist simultaneously. That's what allows you to connect with your ideal future self. That's where you begin to identify where the limitations and the beliefs and the blocks are held in your unconscious. So we're going to do a little bit of writing first, and then I'm going to guide you through this very inspiring soul journey into your future. So taking a deep breath, and just releasing and letting go. Taking another deep breath. Letting go tensions of the day. And just turning your attention inward to that quiet place that is within you. Connecting with your soul's wisdom. And set the intent that your soul will guide this process. And you can open your eyes. If you don't have paper and pencil, you can just think about it. Have something? Okay, while the other people are finishing, is there someone who wants to share their soul's vision for their future? Yes.
I don't know if this is the future or what, but I just want to express wisdom, happiness, love, and abundant financial security.
I'll drink to that. Very good. Could you speak up, maybe stand and speak up? Not everybody can hear. I appreciate that.
For my future, I would like to express wisdom, happiness, love, and abundant financial security.
Sounds awesome to me. Go for it. Great. What else? Everybody's already manifested their ideal future? Whoa. This is an advanced group. Yes.
Free of financial debts, adequate income to end of life, vitality, physical, intellectual, emotional, spiritual, release from past traumas, loving relationships, service to others, giving back, learning more about my soul and its quest.
Awesome. Good for you. Yes. Love it. Anybody else? Yes.
In my future, I would like only my own work. I don't want anybody else's work. I don't want to participate in other people's work. I just want my work.
Okay. Go for it. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Yes.
I want to enjoy my movement into infinity.
Yes. You got it.
What was that?
Say it louder.
I want to enjoy my movement into infinity forever.
Did
And
you
then when
hear
comes
it?
up to expand into
Oh,
infinity,
okay.
then come
You
back.
can hear it, you repeat it. Turn it on.
I want to enjoy my movement into infinity.
Okay, is anybody getting any resistance to doing this? Mm-hmm. Yes. And what is the,
Oh, no, I have still another answer.
okay,
Somewhat similar, just an appreciation and understanding of all there is.
and an appreciation and understanding of all that is.
There is, right?
There is. That covers all bases. Good. Anybody else? Yes,
I'm ready to need the microphone.
okay.
I have had resistance before. Trying to actually just write out my ideal thing. Actually do all the details of how I would see it or whatever. But really, what really helped me today is you starting off with the seeing myself as harmoniously balanced within, with yin energy appreciated and cherished, surrounded by people of like mind in home, community, nation, world, and the universe. I'm a healer, a conductor of similar and others, and also a world where people can be creative and receive abundance for their own creativity, similar to what she said. Why should we have to work for others, like robots or an assembly line, and there's nothing coming, no passion coming from ourselves to share with the world.
I love that. Thank you. Write that one down. I want that one. That's awesome. Okay. We're going to, yes, thank you. We're going to take a soul-guided journey into your ideal future. And this is to connect you with your ideal future self, that part of you that is connected to the divine, which will guide you in this process. And we will be in holographic time where all potentials exist. And with the guidance of your soul, you will envision your ideal future in your work, your relationships, your health, your finances, and your spirituality. This is not psychically reading your future. It is your soul creating your future. Okay? When the personality is aligned with the soul, things unfold very synchronously. Everything that you need is provided to you. We will also pay attention to any resistances, any limiting beliefs or blocks that may be holding you back, these subconscious sabotaging issues that sometimes are lurking in the unconscious and we don't know what it is that is sabotaging us. So we're going to identify some of those blockages. Now, we're not going, because I only had an hour and a half today, there's no way that I can take you through all 7 steps, but at least you can begin to identify some of where these blockages are, and then we'll talk about what next steps you can begin to take to resolve those. What I love doing about this work, by taking people out into their ideal future first, is it creates such a connection with the potential of your soul. Instead of just thinking about this intellectually, you're in that high vibration, you're in that high state of consciousness that is soul guided. So it gets you out of the box of limitation and helps you to expand the possibilities and to help you focus on what it is that your soul wants to express in your life. So many of the manifestation models focus on an external solution to an internal problem. But if you're coming from that sense of the soul being your compass, it brings true satisfaction and true fulfillment and true joy. I have found that many people literally glow when they connect with this high state of consciousness, a state of joy east. There is a palpable presence that happens when you're in this state of consciousness. And then when you clear these resistances and blockages, there's a direct and open connection to divine guidance. Synchronicities start happening. You find yourself in the right place at the right time with the right people. Life unfolds with ease. This happened in my own life, but I had to resolve a lot of my own limiting beliefs from my childhood and also from my past lifetimes. When, for example, when I envisioned writing this soul vision book, I knew that there were resistances from my childhood. I needed to feel worthy of doing this project. I also had to clear past life memories where I was burned at the stake and persecuted for being a heretic. A lot of my voice issues in this current incarnation are related to many, many lifetimes as a martyr, being in prison, burned at the stake. So my healing path in this incarnation is to reclaim my voice and speak out again. And I'm a heretic again. Thank God they don't burn you at the stake. But when I started clearing many of this unconscious baggage, synchronicities started happening. When my personality was aligned with my soul, things started happening that I never imagined would happen. I had a publisher who contacted me. Can you imagine that? I didn't have to get an agent. I didn't have to go through a lot of those hoops. They actually pursued me for 4 months and said, please make us the first publisher you contact. It's like my soul keeps saying, look, if you doubt about what you're writing, here is the proof. It kept happening over and over and over again. The book got on the bestseller, Amazon.com bestseller list in the category of reincarnation with very little promotion. I got some wonderful, wonderful endorsements from Dr. Brian Weiss and Debbie Ford and Sonia Choquette. But that's what happens. It's like if you will follow your soul's guidance, you are fully supported in that process. But I did have to do the work, and I continue to do the work to resolve those unconscious resistances that want to say, no, don't go forward with this. It's not safe. You know, you're stepping out on a limb. You know, a lot of the things that I do in my private practice are non-traditional, and I'm going much more public. You know, I'm talking about experimental therapies, I'm talking about past life regression, but I'm very, very passionate about getting this information out to a wider audience because I know it heals people. I know people get better. So from my point of view, this is coming from a deep, deep soul contract and a soul urge. Okay, any questions before we take the journey? Yes?
Dr. White, you trained under Dr. White.
Yes.
Are you training others?
That is part of my soul's vision, is
Mine too.
is to train therapists in how to do integrate traditional and non-traditional therapies. I was just invited by the National Association of Social Workers to do a live webinar on holistic psychotherapies and non-traditional therapies, which goes out to potentially 100,000 social workers, because they're going to make this part of their CEU program, and it'll be up on their website. So that is very, very encouraging to me. So yes, that is definitely on the agenda. Any other questions? Okay, I would ask you to turn off your cell phones. If you start coughing, would you please excuse yourself and leave the room so you don't disturb the people around you? Do we need to lower lights in the background, do you think? I don't know. I need light for reading, but. And just take a couple deep breaths. Inhale, relaxation. Exhale, tension. Letting go. More and more with each breath. Just going deeper and deeper into relaxation. So comfortable, so relaxed. And feel how good it feels to just relax and let go. And allowing the quietness of spirit to be present with you. And I invite you to imagine a bright white light coming down from above. A beam of shimmering iridescent white light entering the top of your head with the unlimited light of love. This is the universal light of love energy. It enters your head and fills your body to overflowing. And the light surrounds your body with a white light aura of protection and balance and harmony. You're relaxed and at ease with yourself and the world and everyone in it. And any outside noises that you hear just helps you to go even deeper into relaxation. If any outside thoughts should come into your mind, simply brush them aside. And in this wonderfully relaxed state, I invite you to imagine a beautiful staircase of 5 steps. And as you step down, stepping down one step at a time, each step will light up with a luminous golden light that fills every cell of your being. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. At the bottom of the stairs. And ahead of you, notice a door. A beautiful golden door. And I invite you to open that door to a garden of peace and serenity. A sanctuary of healing. A sacred space. And this could be a garden that you have visited, or one that you would like to visit, or you can just imagine it in your mind. And enter this garden. And immerse yourself with all of your senses. And notice the beauty that surrounds you. And smell the fragrances of nature. And feeling a gentle breeze against your face. And perhaps you hear birds singing joyfully in the background, welcoming you. So safe. And this is your sanctuary of respite and healing. And you can add or take anything away, making it just the way you want it. And perhaps there are benches on which to sit, and fountains, Just enjoy being there. Feeling how good it feels to be there. So relaxed, so comfortable. And if you're willing, invite into your garden your ideal future self. That part of you that's unconditionally loving, that is wise, compassionate, joyful, empowered, and connected to the divine. And how does it feel to be in the presence of your ideal future self? And look into the eyes of your future self. And what do you see in those eyes? And what does your future self want to communicate to you? What words of inspiration and encouragement does your ideal future self wish to give you? And just be open to receiving this message. And this future self will be your guide into your ideal future. And from this deeply relaxed place, I invite you to go out into your ideal future. And on the count of 3, under the guidance of your higher soul wisdom, envision your ideal future as if it's happening right in this moment. 1, 2, 3. Connecting with the joy of this ideal future. And what are you doing and what are you feeling in this ideal future? And just let yourself envision your ideal future relationships. And feel how wonderful it is to experience the joy of being in meaningful, deeply connected relationships. Where you feel a sense of trust, unconditional love, and respect in your primary intimate relationship. What are you doing and what are you feeling in this relationship? And now moving into your ideal future work or career. We're expanding the career that you already have, the work you already do, to make it even more awesome, even more wonderful. Feel the excitement of waking up in the morning and looking forward to doing your life's passion, loving what you do, being in a harmonious environment with people who are cooperative, creative people who have a common vision, being appreciated by those you help. Envision it in its most ideal. Stepping out of the box of limitation. Your soul is unlimited. And in your ideal future, you experience a vibrant, energetic, healthy body that supports you in everything that you do. You experience a balanced lifestyle of healthy habits. Just feel that strength in your body right in this moment. Perfect, whole, and complete. And you feel confident, empowered, self-accepting, and trust your inner wisdom and intuition. And you experience a deep connection with Source, your higher self, the divine, and your oneness with everyone. And you are filled with joy and wonder. And you are in the right place at the right time with the right people. And you are in the synchronous flow of your divine destiny. And all is being manifested effortlessly, easily, comfortably, under the direction of your soul. And you feel a deep sense of trust that everything will be provided, and you are fully supported. And now, ask yourself, is there any part of you saying no to this or holding you back, any part of you resisting any part of this ideal future. And what is that part saying? And where did this belief come from? From this lifetime? Or a past life? Just make a mental note of this, of whatever comes to the surface. And know that when you return, you will learn about methods and tools to change these beliefs. And know that you have the ability to change your script and heal these unconscious limiting programs. Now, I invite you to reconnect with your ideal future again and ask yourself, is there anything that I can do to expand it, to make it even more wonderful, more awesome? You are in holographic time where all potentials exist simultaneously. We don't ask for too much, we ask for far too little. And now, take a snapshot of your ideal future. Take a snapshot of a zine that will remind you of what you have created, just the way you want to remember and feel it. And put a picture frame around that zine. And what color or colors is in that picture frame? And take those colors and run that all throughout your body, everywhere you go. Like a waterfall of beautiful color, running over you, through you, to every cell of your being. And now put your thumb and index finger together to make a circle, like an OK sign. And every time you hold your fingers in this position, you'll immediately be taken back to this awesome feeling, this wonderful feeling. And now, returning back to the garden, knowing that you and your ideal future self are one, they are merged. And your ideal future self, under the guidance of the divine, will direct you as your ideal future unfolds. And connect with this process every day. visioning, feeling the good feeling of your ideal future. And are there any final words of encouragement from your future self to bring back with you? Any words of guidance? And when you are ready, returning back out of the garden, back through the door, to the staircase of 5 steps, coming back to waking awareness on the count of 5. And 1, feel the lifeblood returning to your arms and your legs. And 2, feel yourself coming out. And 3, wiggling your toes and your fingers. And 4, re-energize. And 5, back in this room, present moment, time and space, 2008, and welcome back. Few of you are glowing. I saw some smiles. There was a wonderful energy in this room. We had a lot of help raising these vibrations. Did anybody feel that? That wonderful sense of joy? Okay, anybody who wants to share a little bit of their experience? Did you get a sense of that expansion and that sense of joy and that sense of purpose and connection? Everybody's still in an altered state. Takes a few minutes to come back, I know. Let me ask you, yes?
I was going to say, when I went down the steps,
Give him the microphone.
Yes, good idea.
The steps, I saw Jesus, and there was this great sense of peace that came over me, in the sense that there was great love in the room, in the area around me. And then I saw my ideal self, and giving me great reassurance that I would have what I was asking for. And that was the moment that I remember the most.
That's very powerful.
Thank you.
Doesn't get better than that. That's, whoa. Anybody else want to share?
When I was envisioning what my ideal work would be and how I would feel, what I felt was waking up with like fire in my belly, like intense warmth and just energy and excitement about what I was going to do that day. Almost excitation, like getting like a kid.
Yes, that's it. You captured it. Woohoo! Awesome. Yes.
I had an intense feeling of being accepted, pure love, and a sense of time slowing down to the point of it not having meaning. And just that sense of everything's going to be okay.
Yes. Yes. It's a state of beingness rather than doingness. Mm-hmm. You got it. Anybody else? Over here?
You asked us about any last words of advice.
Closer.
Closer, put the mic closer.
What I got was, you already are, just be.
Yes. I like it. We need more of that. Anybody else? Okay, anybody have any resistances? And I would be very surprised if you don't. Most of us have parts of us, the shadow parts of us that are disowned, that say, yeah, right, it'll never happen. A sense of not being worthy of it. You know, I've had some people go into the garden and not even be able to connect with their ideal future self. So then that becomes the issue that needs to be reprocessed and released and worked with. So any limiting beliefs come up? From past lives or this? Nobody's willing to admit it. Oh, there's one in the back. Brave soul.
But I have to wait for it.
You have to wait. And why?
Right, yeah.
Okay. So that's a belief. That's a belief. Okay, any others? Yeah.
Maybe I don't have enough time, but I waited a long
This
time.
This woman that I worked with, this homeless woman, she was 65. She is now 70, and she's got an incredible life. She's reclaimed herself. I worked with an 80-year-old man who got in touch with forgiveness issues that were unresolved. Those were his blocks, his resistances. He wanted to finish up unfinished business before he left this life. It's never too late. It isn't. You're welcome. Yes. Someone in the back.
About self-doubt and everything. I didn't raise my hand, but I know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a process. I'm nervous, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna slow my
Thank you for
heartbeat.
sharing. I appreciate that.
Okay. I used to be a very depressed person, bipolar, double personality. Then when I had my kids, my chemistry changed. So I wasn't chemically depressed anymore. But while I was chemically depressed, I told myself, you know, it'd be great if I was one of those persons searching for a purpose, and that's why I was depressed. But it's not that, it's chemical. And then I wasn't chemically depressed anymore. Then I was tortured by finding a purpose. What's my purpose in life other than just giving birth to my kids and staying home with them? So I was tortured for another 10 years. And those doubts that you're talking about, definitely, they were there. And what I did was through writing, a lot of journaling, because nobody understood what I went through. I didn't even understand it. I went through a phase of a lot of poetry, journaling, questioning why am I searching, why is this yearning in me, why won't it let me go, why can't I be happy just having a beautiful family, which I do. It just would not leave me. And through the process of finding this place about 4 years ago, taking classes like the Artist's Way, self-help like tapes while I was cooking in the kitchen, not wanting to be in there, you know, just lots of years of doing that. And finally, knowing that my past affected me, understanding how it affected me, but not letting that limit me, even though the people who affected me are still in my life and still affect me, but they don't affect me the same way because I have changed. About 13 years ago, I thought I might like psychology. I went to the library to look it up. I saw all what it takes to be a psychologist. I said, me? No way. I'm not organized. I never handed in. I started things, I never finished them. Never, not me. How many years of school? Forget it. That was about 13 years ago. And even in college, first year, I found an old journal and I wrote it that Plus, besides that, writing, I like writing, but I forgot about all that. And now I'm back, now I'm in school for psychology, and I'm finishing my papers early. And I'm in awe of myself. I would never, ever, ever see myself going back to school. Like, even like a year ago, if you told me like I was looking forward to write papers, I'd say you're crazy. I bet against it. So it's definitely a process, and if you keep looking for it, and you keep searching and not give up, even when you have those bad days, you're going to have the bad days. And let it be a bad day, and if there's no one to talk about it, that's okay, write it down. Writing is just really healing and powerful, and that's what I tell people around me that have problems right now. So.
That's awesome, and well said. It is a process, and sticking to it and not giving up, good for you, and it's paid off. And there's many different tools, many different ways of healing ourselves. One of the tools that I talk about in the book, I talk a lot about some of the energy psychology methods that help to reprocess. I wanted something that people could use on a self-help basis. The book is written on many levels. Some people will respond with just the self-help energy psychology tools and the 7-step method that I use. One of the energy psychology methods that I teach in there is the WE method, which was developed by Dr. Dan Benner. It's a hybrid between EMDR and EFT. EMDR is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. It's bilateral stimulation of the brain that helps to reprocess unfinished business. And he combined that with some of the emotional freedom technique affirmations. And it's a very simple method for people to learn. It's simpler than EFT. In my opinion, and therefore people will more likely use it. But the book is full of resources, but some people will need more in-depth work, obviously, like the homeless woman that I worked with. She needed much more in-depth work on a longer period of time. Other people will want to come to workshops where you can get more individual attention and ask questions and go more deeply. But the other unique feature of the book is, rather than just give scripts to people to take them through these guided experiences, I provided free MP3 downloads that you can download onto your computer, and that will guide you through the process as you go through some of the 7 steps. So I think that's sort of a unique feature, or you can purchase a CD on my website. So hopefully each of you will take another step in your growth process as a result of this experience today. Don't get discouraged if there were parts of you that felt stuck. The book teaches ways of reprocessing the limiting unconscious beliefs, and so you can start there. That's one step. Some people need to go deeper. And past life regression sometimes goes to the root cause of things that are not responding to any other method. And I'll give you an example. A few days ago, and all of these people have given me permission to share these stories. I had a woman who came to me that was having a lot of trouble with body image. She had difficulty with gynecological exams. She couldn't be touched. There was nothing in her history that accounted for this. There was no traumatic memory. You know, her family was, normal, dysfunctional family. But nothing that would really account for what was going on. Now, in the beginning, I did not present past life regression as an option to her because that wasn't part of her belief system. And I just didn't sense that the timing of that was good. But to make a long story short, a lot of synchronicities happened to this woman. One day, she showed up at my office, and she bumped into another client that was coming in. This woman had come out from out of state to do a past life regression. And they just happened to strike up a conversation. I guess she was early for a session or something like that. And she said, I'm here to do a past life regression. And so this other client said, what? What is that? So this woman proceeded to tell her how beneficial past life regression had been in healing her stuck places. So next time I saw the other client, she said, tell me about past life regression. So I did. I told her, it's with hypnosis, and it goes back to the root cause of, the origin of some of the difficulties and issues that you might be having. And I said, do you want to try this? And she said, yes. She said, I want to try this. So I explained the process, and when she came back, it was a 2-hour process, and I said, go back to the root cause of the origin of your discomfort with your body issues in this current life. Well, this woman is Jewish, and she said every time she watches anything that has anything to do with the Holocaust, she just sobs. I mean, it triggers such deep, deep emotion inside of her. I mean, way out of the proportion of an average response. Well, it took her back to the Holocaust. And she was a 13-year-old little girl, and she went to a scene where her family and her were running through the forest away from German soldiers. Well, it ended up she got separated from her family, and she ended up in a prisoner of war camp. Well, I think you can figure out sort of what started to unfold. A German soldier seduced her, promised her she would be released from the prisoner of war camp, and of course he didn't. So this woman had this traumatic repeated event in her past that was still locked in her body. When she left the prisoner of war camp after the war was over, she had met someone in the camp that she married, and her husband rejected her because she was not able to consummate the marriage, and they were not able to have children, and so she left that lifetime with a tremendous amount of guilt and shame. So we were able to reprocess that lifetime. She communicated to the soul of that soldier and expressed her feelings and how she felt about what had happened. We also went back in and rescripted that life, and I said, after she had done the releasing and the clearing and the forgiveness process, I said, if your higher self could go back into that life and change it, what would you like to see happen? Oh, she lived it in a much more empowered way. She was able, in that rescripted scenario, to see she and her family going to safety and bypassing the traumatic experience and going into safety. So that imprinted a new template and released a lot of the traumatic memories that were held in her unconscious. So the good news is this woman came out of that regression and she said, I feel like 1,000 pounds has been lifted from my body. The next time I saw her in her next session, she was like a different person. She said, I now know that I can go and get a gynecological exam. And last time I heard, she signed up for a dating service. So I know that this process works, and you don't have to believe in past lives for it to work. The subconscious does not know the difference between reality and metaphor, and in hypnosis, you can work with the dream symbols, the themes, the patterns that come to the surface. But if you had witnessed this regression, you would have no question that was very, very real to her. And it did get her unstuck, and it did heal her. So I encourage all of you to care enough about yourself to put in the effort to do this process and create a soul-guided life of joy. Whether you purchase my book or do another method or come to our workshops, I just encourage you to put the time and effort in. And I'm so glad this woman back here said it is a process, because it is a process. People are looking for quick fixes, and some things are quick and easy, but then other things do take time. and it's an unfolding and a process, but you're worth it. So thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in the future. I have a private practice in Mundelein and Des Plaines, if I can be of assistance. Tracy?
Thank you, Susan. It was wonderful to have you here and hear all about your new book. And we are still selling books up in the back, so you can still get a copy of either one of our books from today. And don't forget next month, Therese Rowley, and we're going to Ruby's. So, and in the back, this room. And don't forget your trash.